Yeah, those protests remained peaceful, but it was pretty intense. You could feel the pain, the hurt, the passion coming from those protesters as they were out here fighting for justice for George Floyd. You can see right here behind me that this is the street that was at the center of that protest right now, looking completely different. Now, we can tell you that while crews were out here, we didn't see any clashes between police and protesters. There were no fights, no flash grenades like we've seen in the past. And as you all know, yesterday was a hot one. It was the hottest day so far of the year, but that did not stop protesters from having their voices heard. We can tell you that at least 2 protesters and 1 federal officer had to be treated for heat-related illnesses. And while we talk about health here, we cannot forget that all of this is happening while we're in the middle of a pandemic. And let's get real. You all have seen the video from these protests. Social distancing is not a thing. And that has some healthcare professionals concerned that we may see a spike in coronavirus cases in the upcoming weeks. Now, I tracked down Dr. Michael Knight. He's with the George Washington University School of Medicine and Health Sciences. I want you all to listen to what he had to say about the coronavirus when it comes to attending these protests.
Because when we think about public health crisis, the coronavirus and pandemic is one, but we also know that systemic injustice is another one that we're seeing in the health care setting across this country. Wearing a mask is going to decrease the risk of transmission from you to other people. And if other people are wearing masks, then that will decrease the risk of transmission to you, even in close proximity. There's always going to be a risk. So we're talking about reducing that risk, and masks can be helpful in that setting.
And it was a risk that many of those protesters felt was worth it. Now, I got to tell you, there are calls for both protesters and first responders who are out here to make sure that they are going to get tested within 10 days of being out here at these protests to make sure that they do not test positive for the coronavirus. I'm reporting in Northwest D.C. Michael Quander, WUSA 9.
Michael, thank you.